All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast real estate tip. And today I'm here to talk to you about Facebook leads and how to convert those Facebook leads into appointments. That way we convert those into clients, right? The sole purpose of a lead is to convert that lead into appointment. Sole purpose of an appointment is to go out there and convert that lead into a client, right? So it's all about getting more clients because then obviously it gets into more closings or agent recruits, whichever you're trying to go out there and utilize this for. This is the same overall follow-up protocol that I'm going to do. So whether I'm trying to convert a buyer, convert a seller, or go out there and recruit an agent, right? Here is going to be my recommended overall process and what I do internally. And look, I've been hammering Facebook extremely hard since about 2015. About 2015 is when I saw, personally in my business, when I started to see Facebook Ads Manager outperforming Google, Google pay-per-click. So that's when I started going like just balls to the wall with this platform. And I've been hardcore. So now 8 years. And I spent well over $1 million of my own money, my own ads manager account, managing my own ads, and converting these at a very high level. And we had to learn, we had to go through a lot of refining and figuring this stuff out, just like with any lead, whatever the lead generation method is. Right? Like we're always tweaking, we're always refining and trying to identify what is the best overall conversion machine. So then that way we can go out there and maximize conversions. Look, the thing is, and I have conversations with agents, team leaders, and broker owners all the freaking time. And the common thing that I hear is, oh man, I tried Facebook for a while. And this holds true for pretty much any lead source, but we'll speak to Facebook specifically with this because this comes up all the time. Right? Well, man, I tried Facebook leads for a while, but man, they just didn't work for me. I just didn't get good results with it. It just didn't work for me. I want you to understand that everything works, nothing doesn't. If the thing isn't working for you, it's not the thing, it's you and how you are working the thing. And I know that's a big pill to swallow, but look, I'm not here to just sugarcoat shit and just blow smoke up you guys' asses. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, but maybe what you need to hear, right? And look, this was a hard pill I had to swallow too. When I go out there and start seeing okay, man, I'm doing radio. Back in the day, I'm not doing radio or TV now, but way back in the day before social media existed, I was building my real estate business. There was a point in time where I was investing about 60 grand a month, between radio and TV. And when I first started doing radio, I'm like, man, I'm just, I was sucking at it. Right. But I knew, mega agents all over the country that were murdering at it. So I had to then figure out, I didn't just say abandon it and be like, okay, peace out. It was okay, what are these other people doing that I'm missing? And eventually I've dialed in. I figured out the right frequency, how many days and what the perfect time slots are, when the perfect days were, to go out there and get the most listens and get in how to structure the call to actions, how to structure the ads, how to speak on the ads. And then of course, that overall follow-up funnel, but let's stay on task here about Facebook ads specifically, right? We got the ad creation itself. Now, if you didn't watch, this was about a month ago or so. I'll link it at the end of this video so you guys can go watch it and see it if you haven't seen that. Or if you're listening to this, you can go, if you're not watching this on YouTube, unfortunately, like inside, Spotify and whatnot, I can't link, at the end of this podcast, the next one, to go to that. But recently I talked about, Facebook ads in 2023 and how to go out there and maximize and capitalize on the lead generation portion of that, right? So that was all, what are the strategies to go out there and generate the most amount of Facebook leads? Now that's the easy part, right? The difficult part that most struggle with. Now we need to get that dialed in. We got to make sure that we're getting leads. We're getting a good cost per lead. We're getting the right leads. Like I can go out there and generate Facebook leads all day long for like 50 cents. But they're going to be low quality leads, people that aren't serious, right? Like if I did something like, rent cheaper than you can own, I'm sorry, own cheaper than you can rent. Or I start, running a bunch of foreclosure ads and, then I just get a bunch of kind of these wannabe investors where, I'm converting like 1 out of 400 and like, dude, I got to run the right ad to the right people. But then from there, I don't care how many leads you're generating, what your cost per lead is, how good you're at the front end game. If our follow-up game isn't dialed in, we are not going to go out there and convert these at a high level. So that's what we're breaking down here today is, okay, what to do specifically. And it's going to be a combination of getting in your CRM and making sure that you have automation set up. But then from there, a combination of the phones. Well, Josh, I don't like the phones. Well, get over it, right? This is just, do you like having conversations with people? You are in a sales business. You're going to have conversations with people. And it's not that you don't like the phones. It's look, you just don't know what to say. If you knew what to say and you were comfortable at how to navigate those conversations and you converted at a high level in those conversations, and you were getting wins, okay, you would freaking love the phone, right? We just don't enjoy, and we have limiting beliefs and blocks to shit that we're not good at. And it can be uncomfortable if we don't know what to do, when to do, how to do it. So we're going to get all that dialed in though here today. But it's going to be a combination of again, automation. So emails, text messages, property alerts, all of those are automated. And then from there, doing your phone calls, because the reality is, you guys, with this lead source, it is a longer term nurture source. The average Facebook lead is inside my system, my CRM system, for 6.7 months before they become a client. So this is a longer term nurture source, right? So if you think that, oh, well, I'm just going to have one phone call and they're just going to tell me they're just browsing, and then I'm just going to get pissy and be like, oh, this is not a good source. Nobody's serious. Look, they're serious leads. They're just not serious yet. Right? As long as you have the right long-term nurture follow-up protocol. And this is why on this podcast, you hear me talk about all the time timeline and psychology. You got to understand that per lead source. Right now, we're going to speak specific to Facebook ads. So I'm not going to explain timeline and psychology because I'm going to give that to you here with Facebook leads. You can go to other podcasts to learn more about that. All right, so let's just jump on in here. Okay, so you're generating these Facebook leads. The first most important element is you need to make sure that you have them going into your CRM automatically, right? So, because you're not going to have time to be like, you don't want to have to go out there and scrape them out of, Facebook ads manager, put them into your CRM. So the most effective lead style type of ads, at least that I'm performing, that I'm doing, are what's called lead form ads, right? So they're lead generation ads, but we're doing that via lead form. So they opt in inside Facebook or Instagram. You actually run your Instagram ads out of Facebook Ads Manager. So whether you run them on Instagram or Facebook, this encompasses both, right? That we're talking about here today. Then from there, they actually opt in on the form inside Facebook. Then when they submit that, boom, I need those pulled instantaneously into my CRM. So make sure that you've got that linked up and set up with your CRM. So like a perfect storm, the CRM that I have and use, we have a native integration, so we're able to pull those right in. Now, I'm first going to talk about the automation piece here, right? So the automation piece is going to be, again, the text messages, the emails, the property alerts, right? And then this isn't fully automation, but I'm also going to talk about mass emails as well. Now, if you guys are stuck, or you're struggling with any of this stuff, or you're struggling with any element of your overall real estate business, like if your business is declining, or it's staying stagnant, or maybe it's growing a little bit, but just not at the pace that you want it to be, you can schedule a 100% free, zero pressure strategy call with me personally. It's going to be with you and me. I'm not delegating you off to some salesperson on my team. It's going to be with you and me. We're going to do a Zoom call. We're going to spend an hour on that call talking about your business, where you're at, where you want to go, what your goals are, what your biggest obstacles are. And through that process, I'm going to give you and tell you what my recommended strategy is to get you from where you're at to where you want to go, and how to overcome those obstacles. So this is 100% zero pressure. Now, just full disclosure, yes, I'm going to spend about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max, talking about my coaching program and how that possibly can help you in your overall situation. If it's for you, great. If it's not for you, that's okay too. We can still be friends. I've got a very strict no pressure policy. But if you want to jump into that, again, we're going to spend, 50 or 55 of the minutes talking just about you, your business, and then about 5 or 10 minutes, walking into the coaching program and how, again, it can possibly help you. If it's for you, cool. If not, that's okay too. You can schedule those at www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. So this is the GSD Mode podcast. It's a Zoom call. So just remember www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. If you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, you'll see the ticker below with it, or you can just scroll below wherever you're at in the show notes or the description, and click on that link below to schedule that. Okay, so now let's keep moving forward here with the Facebook. Okay, so we're going to import. So I'm going to just walk you through each step of the process here. So, okay, they automatically come into my CRM. Now, here's one thing that's really important. You want to come in automatically, but then we're going to trigger, the automation in your CRM. And because I know that the vast majority of you are listening to this podcast as you're driving down the road. So I'm going to explain this whether you're watching this or listening to this all of this can make sense, right? So I'm not going to do a visual here and show you that. So like, I want to break this down so you guys can, we're all using different systems. So by me just showing you in Perfect Storm, the system I have and use, that's going to help you setting up your system. If you have Perfect Storm, like we've got tons of training on this. I show you guys how to do this. So you're already ready to rock and roll, right? Okay. So then from there, we not only want to import it in, but we also need to know what specific ad they came in from, right? So make sure that first note that is burnt into the timeline on that contact record tells you what specific ad that this came from. Yes, I needed to let it know that it came from a Facebook lead ad, right? But then from there, I want to know what specific ad, not just Facebook, but what specific ad. If I'm running these ads from different cities, different places, different style of ads, I want to know what was the specific ad, because you're going to have some ads that perform, some ads that don't perform. I need to know what specific ad. Okay, so that's just kind of a ninja side tip, right? Okay, so then from there, I'm going to have what's called autoresponder email, autoresponder text automatically kicked out to this lead. So instantaneously, I want my system to shoot them an email and a text message, right? So it's just going to, walk them through, hey, quick thank you, whatever, let them know that, I'll be in touch shortly, right? So that's just an instantaneous email, instantaneous text, boom, boom, right? Okay, so we're talking about the automation here. So that's going to happen, right? Then set up in every, any good CRM is going to have this, right? So then from there, inside your drips, right? So for me, I have set up a 1,000 day email, text, follow-up drip campaign that automatically is added to these. So then for the next 1,000 days, they're getting these email text drips. Now, what my recommendation is to not just go in there and use some BS template that CRMs have. Look, you guys, I've never found any that are effective. I've had to pre-write all my own and create all my own. Now, if you're using Perfect Storm, you have all mine that I personally created that are in there. So that's a little bit different, because I'm not just relying on some, just selected. I mean, these are ones that are proven, tested in my business and throughout the country, right? So that's kind of a different scenario, right? But a lot of times people are like, oh, well, I'm just using the drips that are in there and I got low open rates and whatever. Look, what I've discovered and found is that, look, CRMs are built by tech people, right? Obviously, real estate people like you and I don't know about you, but I don't know how to code. I don't know how to go out there and build out a CRM. Coders that work for me that build that stuff out. I don't know how to do it, right? So then from there, though, these tech people that are great at building out these systems, they don't know our clientele. They don't know how to, so they're just going out there and throwing shit in there to throw shit in there and going on chat GPT and writing some stuff. They don't know actually what's effective messaging to get people to reply, because the whole point of that is keep our message in front of them, but get them to engage. So like an example of like things I'm putting, like valuable things. The thing I always look at is, okay, would people that are going through a buying or selling process, would this be of value to them? It's okay. Like I'm walking people through things of budgeting. Like one of my headlines in one of my emails is why you shouldn't pay, or why you shouldn't feel obligated to pay what your lender pre-qualifies you for. And I go through there and I explain like how the debt to income ratio works, and how, I highly recommend that they walk through a budget, and so they don't, become house poor, if you will, and not take these other things into consideration, because, excitement can kick in, and, they don't always think these things through. Right now, the number one, that creates a little bit of trust, because I'm sitting there saying, hey, maybe your lender says you're approved for 6, but maybe we should really be in that 5 range, to go out there and look, because maybe that payment range on the 6 doesn't allow you to invest the money that you want to invest for your kid's college fund. So then fast forward, you're there, and now all of a sudden you can't do that, right? So adding things of value in there. So I have 1,000-day email text strip and not all of those are value add. Some of them are just quick check-ins. Hey, just want to check in real quick, see how things going. Anything that I can do to serve support through real estate needs or anything else. Not just here to be a realtor, here to be a resource as well. So some of them are just check-ins, right? Some are going to be value adds, right? But you want to have that. And again, 1,000 days is what I recommend, because you're going to have some of these that are quick, but you're going to have some of them that are 2 years out, 3 years out. Like I said earlier, the average is 6.7 months out from becoming a client, right? So for me, I want to have that 1,000-day email text strip. So at this point, Facebook leads come into my system, auto-triggered the autoresponder email, auto-triggered the autoresponder text message. Now they've automatically been added to my 1,000-day email text drip campaign. Okay, so then from there, let me stick with the automation, and then we'll get into the calls. Even though the calls, I have them auto triggered too, so I guess you can call it automation. But let me continue with the other automation. So then I'm going to go into that lead as soon as they come in. I'm going to set up a property alert search, right? So this way, instead of going to the MLS, it's all coming through my CRM. So then that way they're getting daily or instant property alerts. Anytime anything meets their criteria, bam, 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 they're getting that, right? Now with that, you might be like, well, I haven't had a conversation with them. I don't know exactly what they're looking at yet. Okay, I'm gonna, it's gonna be a general search. It's gonna be kind of vague, but it's gonna be similar, to the what I knew that they registered for. So if I got like, hey, pool homes, check out all these amazing pool homes for sale, currently for sale in Surprise, Arizona, all featuring sparkling swimming pools, 4 bedrooms, 4+ bedrooms, 2.5+ bathrooms, 3+ car garage, 2,400 plus square feet, all currently listed between XYZ. Yeah, right. If that is what the ads around, okay, that's going to be what my parameters are around. Yeah, right. Pool homes, 4+ bedrooms, 2.5+ bathrooms in this city. Yeah, right. So, but then I want to have those frequencies going out so they're at least getting those, hopefully daily or whenever listings come available that meets their criteria. So then, boom, now they're getting. So what do we got here so far? So now they're getting, those emails, things that they want to see that they're opening up, right? Now they're getting, the 1,000-day email text strip campaign. They got the autoresponder email. They got the autoresponder text. Now, then from there, now let's talk about the calls, right? So now I'm going to have my CRM automatically task me on the calls. So with the calls, I'm going to do the call number one. And when I say call number one, I'm talking about the initial calls. So I break these into 2 buckets. I got no timeline established. Then I got timeline established. So on a no timeline established, that means it's a new lead that came in. I've yet to have a conversation with them because that initial conversation exists for this only, right? Like, well, at the highest level is to set an appointment. But before I set the appointment, I got to establish these 2 things: what their timeline is and what their goals are, right? So when I that, but with answer rates being so damn low today, it takes more frequency than ever before to get these people on the phone. So I'm going to have my CRM automatically task me to call them day one, then every other day for the first 14 days, then every 21 days for the first year. Is that aggressive frequency? Yes. I'm never aggressive with people. Right? I've got a very strict no pressure policy. It's being aggressive with people is the worst, most ineffective damn way you can possibly sell. And the era that we're in, maybe that shit worked back in the 80s, 90s. I don't know. I've never found it to work in my career. Yeah, right. So it's selling without selling, right? It's making people feel comfortable. So that's, but you got to be aggressive with frequency, right? And that only exists until I get them on the phone. I've established their timeline, like when they're thinking about buying in the future, right? And then I've established what they're looking at potentially buying and what they're looking at possibly buying, right? So then from there, once that's been established, now then I've got my timeline established called tasking drip. So it's either going to be under 6 months, 6 to 12 months, and then 12+ months out. So then in my CRM, once I establish the timeline, so if I'm a, Facebook lead, let's just say, it's a buyer lead, and I, as soon as I've, established that it's them, whatever, then I go in there and just here's how I establish timeline. Hey, I know that you're probably just browsing and not looking to make a move now or anytime at all in the near future. That's being said, just hypothetically speaking, if you were to make a move in the future, and the reason why I'm asking this, is it just helps with overall business planning purposes. But hypothetically speaking, if you were to make a move in the future, like what's your best guesstimate of when you think that might be? Within 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years. Again, just what's your best guesstimate of when that might be? Right now, I'm not going to break down the reason why that's such a powerful, a pre-framer, when I get into that overall script and how I ask that, but I get everybody to freaking, tell me what that is. Right. So then from there, whatever they say, I cut that in half. Right. Then from there, so if they told me, probably 1 to 2 years. Okay. 1 to 2 years to me means 6 to 12 months. Right. So now they're going to go on I'm going to cancel my no time frame established drip. I'm going to put them on my 6 to 12 month follow-up tasking drip. Right? That's going to task me now to call them at a minimum every 45 days. Now, I'm always looking for excuses and reasons to call them before that, but it's going to task me at a minimum to follow up with them every 45 days. So then now, okay, we've got the autoresponder email that they already got, autoresponder text message that they already got. They're on my 1,000-day email text drip campaign, and those are going out and getting several of those every single week. They're set up on the property alerts, right? So they're getting those daily, right? Now they're getting the phone calls. And then there's one more component to this, right? So then now we got our broadcast email. So I send out 5.5 monthly broadcast emails. Right now, the goal with these broadcast emails, though, is these are not going to be salesy emails. These are like what's happening in the area this weekend. These are like holiday, blasts. Like these are, So then I've got my 5.5 messages that I'm sending out to them. So the goal here is they are not going with all of this combined. They are not going, a day or two without seeing my stuff. And even if they're not engaging with it, you got to understand this. And little hacks like this are important. So like how I have my email set up, Joshua Smith, Realtor, shows as the sender name. So even if they're clicking that check mark box and hitting that trash can, delete, dude, I'm still imprinting mine, Joshua Smith Realtor in their subconscious. What I want them to think of when 6.7 months, comes, when they're ready to take action, they're thinking of Joshua Smith Realtor, right? That's what I want to, through this. Now, with the calls, through everything else, hopefully I'm building rapport, I'm building this stuff. But here's one thing that I think is really important for you to understand. And just that helps me to go out there and think about this, right? When I'm thinking of, well, what should I send people, whatever, right? Just know that every lead that's in your system is probably in a dozen plus of your competitors' systems as well. So then from there, what are you doing that is different from your competitors? They probably have them on some stupid, CRM drip that's just like the built-in ones that are ineffective. They probably have them on property alerts. Like, what are you doing to differentiate yourself? You need to stand out. If they're receiving a dozen other shit consistently from other realtors, what are you doing? Same thing if you're recruiting agents. Yeah, right. Okay, like, dude, like, how often are we getting recruited? How much shit do we get from other brokerages or team? Like, it's just bam, 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 it's nonstop. What are you doing to go out there and differentiate yourself from everybody else? It's one of the reasons why I create this podcast. I do all of this. I know my competitors aren't doing it. Like I don't have any team leaders or brokerage owners, at least that I'm aware of in my area, that would be quote unquote competition to me, that are creating this good of content, this consistently. I've been doing this 8 years. I don't know one of them. Right now, they might exist out there, but I'm unaware of freaking one of them in my market that does anything like this. So I'm giving more value to their agents than maybe even they are. So when their agents get to that point where they're like, man, I'm not, my broker isn't helping me, or my team leader's not helping me, I'm stuck at my business. I need some help. Who are they going to think of? They think of me. Yeah, right. So again, it's just, and not always, right. I'm just saying that you want to be differentiating yourself. So you're going out there and sending different, more valuable things. So when these people are ready to go out there and buy and sell, then boom, they're thinking of us. Now, this sounds like a lot, but once it's all set up, dude, all I have to do, like when I get a lead, I get an alert to go set up the property alerts. And then I got to do then I got to do my phone calls, right? Then now that I said that, yeah, I got to do the 5.5 monthly emails. But man, I can send out 90,000, it's a mass email. I send out, I got over 90,000 leads in my database. I send out one email. It takes me 2 minutes to write the email. I send to 90,000 people, bam, right? So like this stuff just doesn't take that long. Like it sounds like a lot, but it's so easy to do once it's set up correctly. So you got to make sure, this is a mistake that so many make and before I personally will go to any type of lead generation that I'm going to do, the thing I look at is, okay, what is the machine that I'm putting the lead into? Do I have the machine in place? Because if you don't have the conversion machine in place, you're never going to convert at a good high level. You're just going to get the lowest hanging fruit that you get lucky with. And that is going to be, maybe those half a dozen leads that just fall in your lap every single year. Maybe you get a half a dozen referrals here and then half a dozen, leads that just kind of fall in your lap that just, you kind of got lucky with timing, and you're kind of stuck at, closing 12 deals a year every single year. And maybe business is going like stagnant, whatever. Like that's the results that you're going to get. Right? Like if you don't have an effective follow-up protocol and overall process, well, Josh, this is so much, man. I can't see myself doing all. Okay, cool. Just go. Don't do it then. Go do something else. Like when I say that, like don't do Facebook then, right? Like go find something else. Yeah, right. Like, I mean, there's 1,000 things that work. I'm not saying that like go find another career. No, I'm saying, look, there's 1,000 things that work in this business. There's so many different things. If you don't like having to build up automation systems and all of this stuff, or you can just go get something like Perfect Storm and have it all pre-built in, and I set the stuff up for you, and it's super easy. You don't have to worry about this stuff. You just go in and do your calls, and I take care of the rest for you. Right. So regardless, so you got to make sure that you have that overall winning conversion process in place. Then from there, the thing that we didn't talk about today, is you got to make sure that you know how to navigate those conversations. Got to know how to navigate that initial call. Got to know how to navigate those follow-up calls. Got to make sure that your skill set is dialed in so you know what to say and when to say it on those calls, how to handle objections, because this is where so many go wrong in our business, man. It's like, I know a lot of people that are doing the frequency, following the process, but the conversions still suck because they never acquired the adequate skill sets, to go out there and have success on the other stuff, right? Like, dude, you can call the people all day long. You can even have the conversations, but if you don't know how to have effective conversations with them, and most that are in our industry, if you joined post 2012, you probably never had to develop the skill sets to go out there and sell in a normal market. And when I say a normal market, so many are coming to me right now. I'm talking to them like, I can't wait for the market to return to normal. I'm like, 2012 through the middle of 2022 was abnormal. We are back to normal. This is normal, right? Like, but most people just never experience a normal market, right? Normal markets have cycles. We just came out of the longest bull market in United States recorded history. The probability of ever seeing that again in your lifetime, my lifetime, is pretty much non-existent, right? Maybe it'll happen. I don't know, but it was it was the first one that since the United States is existed, however many, hundreds of years the United States has been around, first one ever, right? That was that long of a period of time. And real estate, it was like one of the best climates to go out there and buy real estate. And it was just so easy to go out there and make money over the last 10 years, and then now the last 18 months, shit's changed dramatically. Like, this is normal. What you are experiencing right now, this shit is normal. Now there's different things going on as far as affordability. I get that, but normal markets have cycles. Normal markets are going to have challenges, right? Like, you got to be able to read markets. You got to be able to handle those objections. You got to be able to navigate those conversations. The blessing of this is 95% of our industry doesn't have the skill sets. We'll never invest time, energy, money to go out there and acquire the skill sets. So if and when we do, it's like fishing with damn dynamite. All right, so as we wrap up here, again, if you are struggling with any element of your business, maybe your business is going okay. You just know you're not operating at your full potential. You're capable of more. It's good, but it's not great. You're not hitting those dreams that again, that you want to make a reality, and that you have the potential to go out there and make a reality. Or if your business is stagnant, or if it's declining, you're frustrated as shit, and you're sick and tired of not getting the results that you want to get. I highly encourage and I invite you to schedule a 100% zero pressure Zoom call with me personally. This is going to be a strategy call where we are going to do a deep dive in your business. And we're going to talk about your business, where your business is at, where you want to go, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term goals are. We're going to talk about what you're currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are. And then I'm going to navigate you through what my personal recommendation would be to get you from where you're at to where you want to go in the quickest, most effective, most profitable fashion possible. And yes, at the end of that call, I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about my coaching program, right? Let you know what it is, what it entails, just in case it could possibly help you. And if it can, great. If it can't, hey, that's okay too. Look, we can still be friends. This Zoom call is still going to be massively beneficial, massively powerful for you, whether my coaching program is for you or not. I'm going to walk you through what to go out there and do. Now, if you want my support at walking through exactly how to do that and supporting you every step of the way, my coaching program is a fit for you. Great. But if not, that's okay too. You can go you can go execute on this on your own, right? Like, I'm not going to, again, I've got a very strict, absolute no pressure policy. So you could do that at www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. This is the GSD Mode podcast. This is going to be a Zoom call. So, www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. Schedule that right away. The only thing I ask, because look, I'm going to give you an hour of my time. I'm going to pour into you. I'm going to show up. The only thing I ask is that you show up, right? Don't waste my time. Please don't waste my time. Because if you do, I'm not going to lie to book another one, right? Like, if you bail on me, show me. Now, look, if the day before you get COVID or you get sick or something, you can't make it, well, there's a reschedule link. You can let me know. But if you just show me, right, then I'm not gonna like, if you schedule another one in the future, I'm gonna decline it, right? So just because I can't stand when people waste my time, but I promise I will not waste your time either. All right, you guys, keep crushing. Hopefully this was powerful for you, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.